वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय गौरनित्याय जय गौरनित्याय जय गौरनित्याय जय गौरनित्याय जय पंचतत्वा जय पंचतत्वा जय पंचतत्वा जय पंचतत्वा जय जय प्रभुपाद जय शील प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय गुरुदेव की हरे कृष्ण माता जी प्रणाम माता जी
Hare Krishna.
थैंक यू माता जी
Thank you, Mataji, for the kirtan. Hemangi Mataji, Hare Krishna and pranams to you, Mataji. Welcome you to the ICF forum.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, you want us to share the screen?
Yes, Mataji.
Rohini Mataji shall share the screen.
Okay, Mataji. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Mataji, am I audible?
yes माता जी
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Sudha Mataji, you call out the names for reading.
Yeah, yes, Mataji.
One second, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, can we start? Hare Krishna. Am I audible? Hemangi Mataji, can we start?
I think Hemangi Mataji has
Hare Krishna. Yes,
disconnected.
Mataji. Mataji, just had to just set something in the system. That's why.
Yeah. Okay, Mataji.
Yeah.
Whenever you tell.
It's fine, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Fine. We can do it, Mataji. Yes, I'll start. Oh, Mataji. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति सुखी। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। हरे कृष्णा। दंडवत प्रणाम माताजी।
Hare Krishna.
Today we will be doing the Srimad Bhagavatam 4th canto, 8th chapter, from 18th verse to 21st verse. So quickly we will go through the shloka, the word to word and translation. So Matajis can volunteer the 4 shlokas. Satyam suruchyabihitam bhavan me यद्दुर्भागाय उदरे गृहीतः स्तन्येन वृद्धश्च विलज्जत याम भार्येति वावोढुमिदस्पतिर्माम्. Yes, somebody can read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, you want us to read the translation and purport if it is there?
Yeah, purport is not required, Mataji. You can read
Okay.
word and translation.
Okay. Anusuya Mataji, you can read the synonyms, and Vasudha Mataji can read the translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Synonyms. Satyam, truth. Suratya, by Queen Suruchi. Abhihitam, narrated. Bhavan, unto you. Me, may of me. Yat, because. Durbhagyaha, of the unfortunate. Udare, in the womb. Grihitaha, taken birth. Sanyena, fed by the breast milk. Vruddhasya, grown up. Vilajjate, becomes ashamed. Yam, onto one. Bharya, wife. Iti, thus. Va, or. Vodum, to accept. Idah, patihi, the king. Mam, may. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Translation, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Suniti said, my dear boy, whatever has been spoken by Suruchi is so because the king, your father, does not consider me his wife or even his maidservant. He feels ashamed to accept me. Therefore, it is a fact that you have taken birth from the womb of an unfortunate woman, and by being fed from her breast, you have grown up. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Yes. Next verse. Yeah, somebody can read the shloka and the others can read the word to word and translation.
Hare Krishna. Uma Mataji, you can read the shloka, and Prashanti Mataji, you can the word to word and the translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Pranams.
Hare Krishna.
Atishtatata vimatsarastvam vuktam samatrapi yat avyalīkam ārādhyādokṣaja pādapadmam yadicchase ādhyasanam uttamo yatha. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Pranam.
My dear
Synonyms.
boy. Synonyms, okay.
Mataji, Prashanti, na? You said?
Mataji, Prashanti Mataji was supposed to read. Vrishabhanu Mataji.
Okay. Translation I will read, okay. Mataji, Vrishabhanu
Okay,
Mataji.
Mataji. Okay.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Synonyms. Artista, just execute. That, Tata, my dear son. Vimatsaraha, without being envious. From unto you, Uktam said. Samatra api, by your stepmother. Yet, whatever. Avyalīkam, they are all factual. Aradhya, just begin worshipping. Adokshaja, the transcendence. Pada Padmam, lotus feet. Yadi, if. Ichyase, desire. Adhyasanam, to be seated along with. Uttamaha, your stepbrother. Yatha, as much as. Mataji, shall I read translation or not?
Translation you read, Mataji, not the purport.
Yes, Mataji. Translation by Prabhat ki jai. My dear boy, whatever has been spoken by Suruchi, your stepmother, although very harsh to hear, is factual. Therefore, if you desire at all to sit on the same throne as your stepbrother, Uttama, then give up your envious attitude and immediately try to execute the instructions of your stepmother. Without further delay, you must engage yourself in worshipping the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Tanvat Pranam.
Next one.
Hare Krishna. Sarika Mataji, you can read the shloka. Kripa Mai Mataji, the word to word. And Shanti Mataji, the translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. यस्याङ्घ्रिपद्मं परिचर्य विश्वा विभावानयत्ता गुणाभिपत्ते अयोध्या तिष्ठत् खलु पारमेष्ठ्यं पदं जितात्मा श्वासनाभिवन्द्यं. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Kripa Mai Mataji, word to word, you can read Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Am I audible, Mataji?
Yes, yes.
Yes, Mataji. Now you are audible.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Word to word by Prabhupada ki jai. Yasya, who's angry, like Padmam, lotus feet, Parichaya, worshipping, Visva, universe, Vibha, Vanaya, by for creating, Atta, received, Guna, Abhipati, for acquiring the required qualification, Ajaha, unborn, Brahma, and this become situated Kulu, undoubtedly Parameshtiam, the supreme position within the universe, Padam position, Chitta Atma, one who has acquired his mind, Swasan, by controlling the life and Abhivandiyam, worshipable. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Suniti continued, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so great that simply by worshipping his lotus feet, your great-grandfather, Lord Brahma, acquired the necessary qualifications to create this universe. Although he is uh, although he is unborn and is the chief of all living creatures, he is situated in that exalted post because of the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whom even great yogis worship by controlling the mind and regulating the life air, that is prana. Thank you, Mataji.
21.
Hare Krishna. Shilpa Mataji, you can read the shloka, and Krishnamurti Prabhuji, the synonyms, and I'll read the translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam.
That
तस्मामनुरिवो भगवान् पितामहो यमेकम् अत्यापुरु दक्षिणैर्मुखे इष्ट्वाभिपेदे दुर्वापमम् अन्यतो भौमं सुखं दिव्यम् अथापवर्ग्यम्. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranams Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Prabhu.
Synonymous, Tatha, similarly, Manuho, Swayambhuva Manuho, Vaha, your, Bhagavan, worshipable, Pitamaha, grandfather, Yam, unto whom, Ekamatya, with unflinching devotion, Puru, great, Dakshinahi, charity, Makahi, by executing sacrifices, Istva, worshipping Abhipede, achieved. Turvapadam, difficult to achieve. Anyayataha, by any other means. Brahman, Bahuman, material. Sukham, happiness. Divyam, celestial. Atha, thereafter. Apavargyam, liberation. Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranams Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila.
Second Mataji, and join. Yes, Mataji. Sorry, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Sudha Mataji, you continue to read, Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Suniti informed her son, your grandfather Swayambhuva Manu executed great sacrifices with distribution of charity, and thereby with unflinching faith and devotion, he worshipped and satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By acting in that way, he achieved the greatest success in material happiness and afterwards achieved liberation, which is impossible to obtain by worshipping the demigods. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
One more shloka is left, no, Mataji?
No, Mataji. I think this is the last one. I think
21.
so.
Yes, Mataji.
21.
Last
Correct.
shloka,
Okay.
Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
I think we'll wait for Mataji to finish the call.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji, someone can read purport, no, by the time Mataji comes?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah,
Okay.
anybody can.
Whoever, Vrishabhanu Mataji, you want to read the purport? You can
Yes.
read, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
The-
Sorry, Mataji. Sorry, I had some important call to
Okay.
Yes. Sorry for the interruption in between. Yes. Mataji, you were reading the purport. Please read it. We can then go back and then summarize, Mataji.
Okay, man. No problem, Mataji. You can continue.
Yeah. So then we'll go back to the 18th verse, Mataji. Yeah. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Gurudev. Suniti said, my dear boy, whatever has been spoken by Suruchi is so because the king, your father, does not consider me his wife or even his maidservant. He feels ashamed to accept me. Therefore, it is a fact that you have taken birth from the womb of an unfortunate woman, and by being fed from her breast, you have grown up. Yes. Now, you know the background of the entire pastime and what did Suruchi say? Can anybody just read that shloka with the exact wordings which Suruchi has said?
My dear child, you are unaware that you are born out of my womb, but of another woman. So
Okay.
this is what Suniti said. Suruchi said.
Yeah. And what did she say?
Your attempt is doomed to failure, Mataji. You are trying to fulfill a desire which is impossible to fulfill, Mataji. This is
The
what.
exact words she used was, my dear child, you are unaware. In fact, before that, 11th verse, Mataji. 11th verse. Queen Suruchi told Dhruv Maharaj,
You do not deserve, Mataji.
you read it.
Hare Krishna. Translation I'll read, Mataji.
Only the translation.
Hare Krishna. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Queen Suruchi told Dhruva Maharaj, my dear child, you do not deserve to sit on the throne or on the lap of the king. Surely you are also the son of the king. But because you did not take your birth from my womb, you are not qualified to sit on your father's lap. Hare Krishna.
The next one, 12th one, somebody read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Okay.
My dear child.
Unaware, and you were born not of my womb, but of another woman. Therefore, you should not is due to failure. You are trying to
Yes. Yeah. So first, these two shlokas or these two verses where Suruchi is speaking to Dhruv Maharaj, she is speaking very, very harsh words, very, very hurting words to a small boy of 7 years, 6 or 7 years. And she says, you do not deserve to sit on the throne or on the lap of a king, a small boy who had a very simple desire that he just wants to go sit on the lap of his father. No, he was not desiring to sit on the throne also. But see the extent of envy and the kind of hatred the stepmother Suruchi had for Dhruv Maharaj. And the reason she quotes is, you have not taken birth from my womb. That's why you're not qualified to sit on your father's lap. But Mataji, what is the nature of Uttanapad? How do you think his nature is? What is his nature, Mataji? Does he also feel that?
He is also submissive to his wife, Mataji.
But did he have affection for Dhruv Maharaj?
Yes, Mataji.
He had,
He
Mataji.
had.
he had affection, but he was favoring his this Suruchi. That's why he was not able to
was
take the
under
decision.
his wife's control, Mataji.
He didn't want to displease
Maharaj didn't want to upset
Why?
his wife.
Upset her.
Suruchi.
Why? Yeah.
And then she goes further and says, my dear child, you are unaware that you were born not of my womb, but of another woman. Therefore, you should know that your attempt is doomed to failure. You're trying to fulfill a desire which is impossible to fulfill. What a simple act, or what a simple thing that a child wants to go and sit on the lap of a father, and mother is saying it is an impossible desire for you to fulfill. It's a doomed attempt. You cannot fulfill this desire. You cannot sit on the lap of your father. So such harsh words for a small child. So that is what is told, even apart from Shastra, everywhere else also, harsh words hurt people and especially children, because that forms long-lasting impressions in their conscience. A child who is always spoken harsh words or is in a hostile environment develops a conscience of hatred, bitterness, or low self-confidence, or, he will always feel that he is a failure. So, that kind of a conscience sets in a child. But we see how this entire thing, this harsh words, what effect it had on Dhruv Maharaj, and then how his actual mother guided him. So here, being a Kshatriya, come to the 18th verse. Being a Kshatriya, he couldn't accept these words. See, a 7-year-old boy, if he feels offended, Mataji, small children get offended, they get upset. But do they not forget very easily what happens?
Yes, Mataji, they forget.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
You say something to them, even we have seen our own children, we say something, sometimes we scold them, and they easily forget. They don't carry forward and they just don't keep it because they're small children. So they get angry also and then they become pacified also very easily. But in Dhruv Maharaj's case, what happened to him? He was so angry, so puffed up. First of all, the Kshatriya nature of his has come into the act. Kshatriyas cannot take down insult. He felt absolutely offended by the words of his mother, his stepmother. And then he was so annoyed because of that kind of words she spoke. He was puffing with anger, breathing very heavily. He rushed to his mother. He was trembling, that anger in him, because he's a Kshatriya, he cannot accept this kind of an insult. And then he rushed to his mother and he told whatever has happened. And mother also was very upset by the words which Suruchi had spoken. And she was also, by the harsh words, she was also, trembling with anger, and she was also kind of feeling that kind of a suffering because of the co-wife. And then what happens? But Suniti, being a person who was, of course, in mode of goodness and a very humble person, who also is a knowledgeable person, she did not guide the son wrongly, or she also did not act in haste. Usually, what do we expect in such a scenario, Mataji? If somebody has told something harsh to a child, will the mother not rush to fight for the child?
Yes,
Mataji.
See, it's in our experience also, if somebody has said something to our children, our spontaneous reaction would be, let's just go and confront them. Why did they say this to our child? And we can say so many things to the child also. No, she is like that. She is a bitter woman. She is a cruel woman. You don't have to respect her. Sometimes the parents indulge in this kind of a conversation with children where they say that, no, you have to answer back, or they go and fight. But what is the effect of that act? What happens, Mataji, when children are guided that you go and answer back, or the mother goes and fights for the child? What is the effect that it has on the child?
The child will develop that habit of back answering people, Mataji.
Feedback when he grows up.
Child also learns all those things.
First thing, he will expect that every time I come and tell, my mother will go and fight. So it will be easy for him. or she will teach him so many other things that he will not develop the right qualities or right nature. He will also become maybe quarrelsome, or maybe he will become disrespectful. But here,
He will never learn values from it, Mataji.
yes, yes. So this normally happens. Normally, this is what happens. We see in our normal day-to-day behavior. But Suniti gave a very, very exalted path, or an exalted solution, or a perfect solution to such a small issue also. It was only a small thing like sitting on the lap, but for the child, it was a very big issue. But she gave the ultimate solution to solve the problem. So she says here, my dear boy, whatever has been spoken by Suruchi is so, because the king, your father, does not consider me his wife or even his maidservant. So instead of blaming Suruchi, though she was angry with Suruchi, she says it is your father's fault. So her reasoning was correct. Because if the stepmother also had said something like this, the father should have intervened, because he is his son too. So he says, this is your father who is at fault, who does not consider me his wife. He even doesn't think of me as his maidservant. And he is feeling ashamed to accept me. And that is why she's saying that it is a fact that you have taken birth from a womb of a very unfortunate woman. And you have been fed from a breast and you have grown up. So she said, first she is blaming the father. And she's saying, it is your father who is not considering me a wife. And also, I am such an unfortunate person that, my husband doesn't even value me. And you being born in my womb is actually very unfortunate for you. So she says, I am an unfortunate woman, and your father is also neglecting both of us. Yes, go to the next verse, Mataji. And then she says, my dear boy, whatever has been spoken by Suruchi, your stepmother, although very harsh to hear, is factual. Therefore, if you desire at all to sit on the same throne as your stepbrother Uttama, then give up your envious attitude and immediately try to the instructions of your stepmother. Without further delay, you must engage yourself in worshipping the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mataji, go to the 13th verse and read that verse. What is the instruction which Suruchi gives? Or rather, what does she say to Dhruv Maharaj? If somebody can read.
Hare Krishna. If you all desire to rise to the throne of the king, then you have to undergo severe austerities. First of all, you must satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, and then when you are favored by him because of such worship, you shall have to take your next birth from my womb. Hare Krishna.
This is what she says. This instruction of Suruchi is what Suniti is praising, or she's saying this is the right instruction. Go back to the 19th verse, Mataji. Yes. So, Mataji, can you show the shloka? Yeah. So here, what did she say? If you have to get onto the throne, go and do austerities and worship Vishnu. So she very casually, she said, it is such an impossible task for you to sit on the lap of your father or the throne. For this, you have to do austerities. And then out of pride and arrogance, she says, after you do all these austerities, you will get the privilege of taking birth. You have to enter my womb and you have to take birth from my womb to sit on this throne. What offensive words she used. But apart from all the harshness she spoke the factual truth. And that is, go and worship the Supreme Lord and do austerities to him. So by this, Suruchi becomes the Vyati Guru of Dhruv Maharaj. She actually showed the right path. Though entirely whatever she spoke was very offensive, hurt Dhruv Maharaj. But the truth she spoke, both the mothers, Suruchi and Suniti, become the Vyati Gurus, the path, the showing, whoever shows the path to Bhakti or to the Lord is called a Vyati Guru. So they are actually the Vyati Gurus of Dhruv Maharaj. And see the words which Suniti, his mother, used. Samatrapi. In spite of the co-wife offending the son with such harsh words, she says, Samatrapi. What is the meaning of Samatra? Samatra. Prabhupada has said, by your stepmother. Samatra means also your mother. See, stepmother is also equivalent to a mother. Stepmother is also equivalent to a mother. So he says, ultimately, whatever she said is true. Come to the translation, Mataji. So, whatever has been spoken by Suruchi, your stepmother, although very harsh, is factual. So, if you desire to sit on the same throne as your stepbrother Uttama, then give up your envious attitude and immediately try to execute the instructions of your stepmother. And he says, without any further delay, you must engage yourself in worshipping the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in the harshness or whatever she spoke, Suruchi has said something very true. Unless one is favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot achieve any success in life. Man proposes, God disposes. So unless and until anybody for any endeavor or any act, if they don't get the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they will not get success, be it material or spiritual. So Suniti agreed. Prabhupada writes, with her co-wife's advice, that Dhruva engaged himself in the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here, Prabhupada says the words of Suruchi were a benediction for Dhruva Maharaj, for because of the influence of his stepmother's words, he became a great devotee. So you never know what act will drive a person to perfection. There may be smallest of things that can happen in life which will drive a person to perfection. So instead of becoming angry or envious or developing a hatred to the cause which has led to this, one has to actually accept this as a benediction. So Suruchi's words were actually kind of hidden benediction for Dhruva Maharaj. Though he goes there with a certain purpose, but he ultimately realizes the topmost knowledge, he realizes the Lord, he becomes a perfect devotee. And in between, whatever Suniti told, you give up your envious attitude. Like a small boy, a 6-year-old boy or 7-year-old boy, immediately will get envy of his brother or he will get angry with the mother. But he says, don't get envious, don't get angry, and go execute the instructions of your stepmother. And the thing is that she says that the stepmother, Suruchi, says, you have to enter my womb. So Suniti knows that it is actually being in the womb itself is a very unfortunate condition. Do we all agree with it, Mataji? 3rd canto, Kapil Dev's instruction to Devahuti, being in the womb of a mother is also a very unfortunate condition.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji.
And we have read the entire development of the, the body in the womb of a mother, the instructions of Kapil Dev, how painful the womb or the fetus or the child in the womb, it has to experience so many painful things being in the womb of a mother. So being in the womb itself is an unfortunate condition. That means being in the womb means taking a gross material body and being in this material world itself is such a miserable condition. And on top of it, she's telling, you have to enter my womb to become a king. So it's actually out of arrogance she spoke, but Suniti directed her son in the right way. So Dhruva Maharaj is told, give up envy. Mataji, if one is envious, if one is angry, if one is hating or, has developed a kind of a hatred, will he ever be able to execute any austerities and any kind of, meditation or even bhakti? Is it possible?
No, Mataji.
No, Mataji.
Oh, Mataji.
Very difficult.
He loses the power to discriminate.
He will not be able to, first of all, focus on the Lord. He will not be able to focus on the process because he is actually filled with so much of envy and anger and jealousy or anything, that thoughts will keep disturbing him. So what is the reason which Krishna tells Arjun that I am instructing you in Bhagavad Gita? What is the reason? Two qualifications of Arjun says this is why you are
Non-envious and
Too attached, mother. He was too attached.
no Mahat. He had some two qualifications because
non-envious, Mataji.
Non-kama krodha
And
compassion.
And devotee, Mataji, he was Nishpap devotee.
he was non-envious, he was non-violent also, even standing in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, being a Kshatriya, being called for a battle. It is not that Pandavas chose this battle. It was called by Duryodhana. A Kshatriya cannot refuse such a battle, and it was his duty to fight. But he was behaving completely non-violent. He's saying, I'll go for become a sannyasi, I will go to the forest, I will not kill my relatives. And he had compassion for the souls. In spite of those souls or those people hurting them or troubling them or putting them in very, very awkward conditions, he had compassion. Only such souls are qualified to receive this transcendental knowledge and attain perfection. So Suniti said, you give up your anger, give up your envy, give up this attitude. Instead, focus on the instructions of your stepmother that go and do austerities to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what is this here we learn for our practical application, Mataji? Can anybody share what have they realized?
We need to surrender unto the Lord by giving up all our envious nature, our desires, attachment, and
Mataji, we are all practicing bhakti. We are all in the process and doing the sadhana bhakti. So can we all confidently say that I have given up all envy, I don't have any hatred, I don't get angry, I am...
No, Mataji. It is very, very difficult practically, Mataji. Day-to-day life.
We are only trying, Mataji, still not successful.
At least finding the right path is very important, Mataji. Going to the Supreme Lord is very essential, Mataji.
So, Mataji, you have understood the goal. You know the process. And you are trying to follow, because once whoever is doing sadhana bhakti, they are trying to follow the process. But to come to the stage of perfection, the envy, the hatred, or any other things, even desires, all that have to go. That means anarthas have to go. Anarthas have to go. If the anarthas have not gone, it will be far away from attaining perfection. And we can keep doing our chanting of 16 rounds. We can keep reading Bhagavatam. We can go on doing temple sevas, but we will not get perfection. Janma after janma, we can go on doing this, but we will not get perfection. Because anartha nivritti, we will be stuck near the anartha nivritti stage. So if anartha nivritti we don't cross over, then what will we get? Where will we head towards the other stages of bhakti? So in Dhruva Maharaj's case, mother said, give up. Don't think about what your stepmother said. Don't have envy towards your brother. Nothing. You focus only on the serving or meditating or doing austerities to the Supreme Lord. So this part is very, very important. You have to give up the contaminations in your nature and consciousness, and then only you can progress in bhakti. So Dhruva Maharaj, within 6 months, he attained perfection. And of course, he has another Sukriti also, which will be his, getting the mercy of Narada. But what happens is, Mataji, when the super soul in the heart sees that the soul is endeavoring with utmost sincerity, is actually attempting to progress, is making all kinds of endeavor to move ahead, then he manifests a pure devotee in the life of a jiva. So that by the mercy of that pure devotee, they will progress much faster. So in Dhruva Maharaj's case, Narad Muni appeared. Yes, next shloka, Mataji. th verse. And then go to the translation, Mataji. Suniti continued, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so great that simply by worshipping his lotus feet, your great-grandfather, Lord Brahma, acquired the necessary qualifications to create this universe. Although he is unborn and is the chief of all living creatures, he is situated in that exalted post because of the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whom even great yogis worship by controlling the mind and regulating the life air. So to prove the fact that everything is attainable only by the mercy of the Lord, whatever you need, you can get from the Lord. That is the first part. And by doing austerities or worshipping the Lord, everything becomes perfect. All your desires will be fulfilled, and also whatever you cannot even desire or you haven't even desired, that also you'll get. That is what happened to Dhruva Maharaj. Whatever he even did not desire, he got that. So she says, there is a proof to this, that your great-grandfather Brahma also acquired the necessary qualifications to create this universe. So Brahmaji, we know the pastime of Brahma. Every time he gets up and he starts his day after his sleep, he meditates on the Lord. And then he gets the required knowledge and the empowerment to start the creation. So Brahma sits and meditates on the lotus feet of the Lord before he starts his creation. See, Brahma is an exalted personality. He is unborn. He is the chief of all the living creatures, the first living creature. And he is situated in that exalted post. And he has got that post only by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. And Brahma is worshipped even by great, the Supreme Lord is worshipped by great yogis by controlling the mind and regulating the life air. So she is telling, Brahma, your great-grandfather, has worshipped the same Lord, and he got this exalted position, and he gets the qualification to do the creation. And then he also gets, all other yogis also worship the Lord by controlling their mind and regulating the life prana. So she's giving examples to Dhruva Maharaj, that all these rishis, munis, yogis, they all attained perfection by worshipping the Supreme Lord. So there is nothing that is impossible to attain if one worships the Supreme Lord and actually pleases the Supreme Lord. So Brahma is also a living being. He is the first living being. We know Brahma is the first living being. He also, by his penance and austerity, has acquired this exalted position. And that is by the mercy of the Lord. So to become successful in any attempt, one not only has to undergo severe penances and austerities, but also must be dependent on the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the endeavor part is ours, doing austerities, doing penances, doing different kind of, sacrifices is our endeavor. But one has to depend on the mercy of the Lord. Because if only by the Lord's favor and mercy will one get the desired result or more than what one desires. So this is what the indication has been given to Dhruva Maharaj by his stepmother. And stepmother said, go and do austerities to be born in my womb. But then his own mother, Suniti, also confirmed that only by the will of the Lord you will get whatever you want, or whatever is happening here is only by the will of the Lord. Yes. Go to the next shloka, Mataji. Suniti informed her son, your grandfather, Swayambhu Manu, executed great sacrifices with the distribution of charity, and thereby with unflinching faith and devotion, he worshipped and satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By acting in that way, he achieved the greatest success in material happiness and afterwards achieved liberation, which is impossible to obtain by worshipping the demigods. Now she is giving another example that not only your great-grandfather, but your grandfather, Swayambhuva Manu, also executed great sacrifices. He did, a lot of distribution of charity, and he had unflinching faith and devotion. He worshipped the Lord. He executed so many sacrifices. He gave charity. All this he did by which he could satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And by acting in that way, he achieved the greatest success in material happiness and afterwards achieved liberation, which is impossible to obtain by worshipping the demigods. So she's showing him that By worshipping demigods, you will not get, ultimately, you'll never get the moksha. You may get some material benefits. But she's telling your grandfather, worship the Lord with unflinching faith and devotion. So these words also she has used. So she has, in these 3 verses, in her instructions, Suniti has given instructions of how to do bhakti and what are the stages of doing bhakti. She said, give up envy, give up all kinds of attitude, angry attitude, go and focus with concentrated intelligence. In this particular verse, Mataji, can you show me the verse? There is a word called ekamatya. Ekamatya. What is the meaning of that word? Can anybody read?
Hare Krishna Mataji. With unflinching devotion, Mataji.
With unflinching devotion.
And some of the acharyas have translated this word ekamatya as with concentrated intelligence. Unflinching devotion, concentrated intelligence. So she's saying, with concentrated intelligence, with unflinching devotion, you worship the Supreme Lord. Come to the purport. We'll just see what Prabhupada has written for this. Yes. So Prabhupada says, the success of one's life is measured by one's material happiness. Do we all agree to this, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, generally speaking, not from spiritual point of view, do we all agree that our success in our material life is actually considered kind of, people are judged by the success they get in their material life, and they feel that whatever material happiness we are getting is actually the measure of our success. If we are materially opulent, if we are having, all materially, we are well placed, people think, and we also think we are happy.
Yes, Mataji, sometimes.
Yes, Mataji, that's what people
I
think.
think that is what we generally think, Mataji.
Yes. So if we are materially well placed and happy, we feel this is material success. And people who are well placed or having all the material opulences or the richest, people think that they are the successful people. They are the happy people. But we know it is not at all true. And if one gets liberation, then they feel it is success. But only getting liberation, is it complete success, Mataji? Just getting rid of your material existence, is it complete success?
No, Mataji.
No, Mataji. No.
So what is that kind of realization called?
Brahman.
Brahman realization.
Brahman realization. So Brahman realization, that means attaining the spiritual platform or the spiritual sky, is a incomplete realization. It doesn't give you the ultimate position or association with the Lord. So that is also kind of a temporary position. So whatever success, even in this material life or in our pursuit for our spiritual progress, will be attained only by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is what Dhruva Maharaj's mother said, that go and pray to the Lord to get his grace and mercy. And ekamataya, concentrating one's mind on the Lord without deviation. So these are the stages in bhakti, where you become determined. You become determined and completely with all the intelligence fixed on the Lord, without any deviation, you start meditating or praying to the Lord. So this process of undeviating worship of the Supreme Lord is also expressed in Bhagavad Gita as Ananya Bhag. No other path, no other process, no other method, but only focusing on the lotus feet of the Lord. So that which is impossible to obtain from any other source. So Ananya Bhak means you will not get, it means that you will not get anything by the mercy of the Lord. And it is impossible. There are certain things which is impossible to get from somebody else. Mataji, whatever Dhruva Maharaj gets, is it possible to get from any other source?
No, Mataji.
No, Mataji.
Can the Devatas give him a separate loka, a Vaikuntha planet?
No, Mataji.
No, Mataji.
No, Mataji.
It is not possible. So other source refers to worship of the demigods. So here, Dhruva Maharaj aimed for something, but he got much more than he desired, or rather he did not even have a thought that he can get a separate loka, but he got it. So it is especially stressed here that the opulence of Manu was due to his undeviating faithfulness in the transcendental service of the Lord. One who diverts his mind to worshipping many demigods to obtain material happiness is considered bereft of intelligence. If anyone wants even material happiness, he can worship the Supreme Lord without deviation, and persons who are desirous of liberation can also worship the Supreme Lord and achieve their goal of life. So here, opulence of Manu, why did he get that kind of an opulence? Because of his undeviating faithfulness in the transcendental service of the Lord. But if he deviates his mind and starts worshipping demigods to obtain any kind of material happiness, he is considered bereft of intelligence, because they cannot get the kind of opulence which the devotees of the Supreme Lord get. Mataji, what was the actual desire of Dhruva Maharaj? Why did he go and worship the Supreme Lord? What did he want?
He wanted
To sit in his
on
father's lap.
lap.
Greater than other.
He wanted the kingdom greater than his great grandfather, Brahmaji also.
1 second, So here, Mataji said he wanted to sit on the lap of his father. Was that the only thing, Mataji? What offended him even more? You cannot sit on the throne. So what did he want? What was his desire? One of the Matajis has mentioned.
He wanted
More than that kingdom.
He wanted a
Kingdom greater than his father.
Lord.
He wanted a kingdom greater than Brahma's kingdom. So the Lord gave him a separate planet, Dhruvalok. So this kind of a benediction only the Supreme Lord can give. But did he get because he went and did austerity and he did and the Lord was pleased? Did he just get because like how Hiranyakashipu did tapasya, Mataji? What is the difference between Hiranyakashipu's tapasya and here Dhruva Maharaj's meditation? The first difference.
Oh, it was for sense gratification, Mataji.
Okay, but whom did Hiranyakashipu pray?
Lord Shiva.
Lord Brahma.
Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma he prayed. And we see Ravan doing so many tapasyas and austerities to Lord Shiva. But whatever the benedictions they got, were they permanent?
No, Mataji.
Mataji.
Ultimately, Krishna had to.
No, Mataji.
They just lost whatever the benedictions they got. But in Dhruva Maharaj's case, he got an eternal benediction. So that is the difference between worshipping the Supreme Lord and the demigods. And then Prabhupada has written in the purport, if anybody wants even material happiness, he can worship the Supreme Lord without deviation. So actually, Dhruva Maharaj, under the types of devotees who approach the Lord, we have read in Bhagavad Gita, the 4 types of jivas or souls who approach the Lord. Dhruva Maharaj comes under which category, Mataji?
Artharthi,
Mataji.
And where does he come?
Artharthi, Mataji.
Distress.
Artharthi.
Mataji. He wants material opulence. Distress was Gajendra. He was in deep trouble and he was praying to be relieved of his suffering. So distress is there in Dhruva Maharaj because of the offensive words, but his desire was something else. He wants a kingdom greater than his great-grandfather. But Prabhupada has mentioned one word, worship the Supreme Lord without deviation. So Mataji, when we go to some of these Brahmins or our whatever her Kul Purohits, if we have some temporary material issues or have family issues, they give us some kind of what do you call parishkarams or some kind of remedies. So are we supposed to do that? Go 9 weeks to this Ganpati temple, go 16 weeks to Shiva temple, Jal Chadao, Doodh Chadao, do this.
No, Mataji, we have to.
I don't believe in that, Mataji.
We have to get that karma and clear it off instead of doing it
Okay. Mataji, I'm asking,
Mataji, we
do we
don't
have to do
do
these remedies?
no, Mataji,
No,
because
no,
devotees
Mataji,
have
that's
to
what
rise
no.
above
We have
this.
to
No,
accept
Mataji.
that karma and take it.
And Mataji, if you still have the desire of whatever that issue has to be solved, or you want something particular, Prabhupada has mentioned, you can worship the Supreme Lord. If you have material desires also, if you want certain material distresses to go away, instead of running here and there, worship the Supreme Lord without deviation. And even moksha kamis. Prabhupada has written, persons who are desire of liberation, they can also worship the Supreme Lord and achieve the goal of life.
Mataji, because even the demigods are dependent on the Lord.
Yes. They are going to, even if they have to give us benedictions, Mataji, they have a limited quota. So they have to again take the permission from the Lord only and give it. So instead, directly go to the Supreme Lord and do undeviated service to the Lord. And then one can achieve the goal of life. One can get to what one even did not imagine. And ultimately, the benefit of going to the Supreme Lord, apart from getting benedictions, apart from getting permanent results, unlimited, opulence, Mataji, what is the biggest benefit or benediction of praying to the Supreme Lord, Mataji? What happened to Dhruva Maharaj after he saw the Lord?
Mataji, Dhruva Maharaj
actually
lost all
went,
desires for
Mataji, all
material.
desires disappears. Mataji.
he went with material desire, Mataji. Along with material desire, he also achieved the spiritual kingdom.
Yes.
And all his material desires went away, Mataji. When he met the Lord, he was no more interested in any kingdom or, father's lap or nothing. He just was so much, by seeing the Lord, all his desires disappeared, Mataji.
That's the point. So Mataji, that is the biggest benediction one gets by worshipping the Supreme Lord. The Lord will either fulfill your desire and relieve you of that desire, that, once you are satisfied, you may not have the desire. But sometimes he may not fulfill the desire also, but he will remove that desire by giving you the knowledge that this is not necessary, and you elevate yourself in the consciousness. Your conscious gets elevated. So that is the benefit of approaching the Supreme Lord with whatever consciousness, whatever anarthas, whatever desires, is that you will be constantly purified. You will be constantly elevating yourself in the consciousness. The Lord ensures that he will elevate you either by fulfilling desire or by not fulfilling it. But if we have firm faith in the Lord and we approach him and we do our austerities, do our sadhana properly, we are constantly going to elevate ourselves. That doesn't happen with demigod worship. Once the desire is fulfilled, it is done. That's all. No purification takes place there. Unless and until the soul itself develops a kind of detachment towards material things. If one material desire is over, hundreds of material desires come up, and then again the desire is to fulfill them, again go and praying to the Lord. So this cycle will not end. But with the Supreme Lord, he will constantly see because the Paramatma is in the heart, he's seeing the conscious of the Jiva, and he will do whatever is best for the Jiva. So he will see that the Jiva is purified of his desires. But for that, one has to have firm faith in the Lord. One has to do bhakti without deviation, with concentrated intelligence, with unflinching faith and devotion. Moment the Lord sees that, he will do the best. And if he feels that, yes, this soul deserves this kind of opulence, he will bless the soul with the opulence, like how he gave Dhruva Maharaj. But after getting that kind of opulence, what did Dhruva Maharaj say, Mataji? Was he happy? Was he jumping? I got a kingdom more, I got my own loka. Was he happy with that?
No,
No,
Mataji.
Mataji.
He thought I was asking for
glass
broken pieces
piece.
of glass, but I got diamond.
So that intelligence the Lord gives. That real consciousness is awakened when one gets the mercy of the Lord, which is ultimate, because once your conscious is awakened, you can see, you can discriminate between real and what is fake. And then the Ananda which one gets, nothing is comparable in this material world or even in the Sayujya Mukti to the Ananda one gets in the association of the Lord. So that original bliss which the soul has, or rather the soul's Swarupa is a Satchidananda Swarupa. The soul comes to that platform and starts experiencing that bliss, and then it doesn't want anything else. So that is the benefit of serving the Lord, praying to the Lord, even with the desires. So that's why Prabhupada said, approach the Lord, even with material desires, and then you see how the Lord works his way. And it is best for any jiva, instead of deviating here and there, just take the shelter of the lotus feet of Vishnu. Yes, Mataji's. And Mataji, now we see in future, in the coming shlokas, you will see, Dhruva Maharaj did meditation. So can we say he was doing only Dhyana Yoga? He was doing Ashtanga Yoga only?
No, Mataji, he was chanting, no, Om Namo Bhagavate.
What, Mataji?
He was chanting, no, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Yes. So why did Narad Muni first say, go sit there, control your mind, control your senses, practice Ashtanga Yoga, and then you chant this Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya? Why was this part told to him, Mataji? Go to the forest, go to Madhuvan, sit there, do the pranayama. Why was this told?
Because he came from a very opulent life, Mataji. So immediately to go and chant and focus would have been little difficult. So he was asked to first go through that stage of the yoga ladder, as we say.
Yes. So what happens by this Ashtanga Yoga practice is that, first of all, you'll get the mind control, sense control, because of which any contaminations in the consciousness, in the body, will go away. Because when we follow the Ashtanga Yoga process, yama, niyama, you have asana, you have pranayama. So you're purifying your gross body, you're purifying your subtle body. Only when you can purify these two, then only you will be able to progress in the spiritual world, in the spiritual path. So Dhruva Maharaj, if you see this entire thing, how he will do that kind of ghor tapasya, where first month he will be eating some fruits and all, and later by the last month, the 6th month, he is only stopped breathing also. He starts eating alternate days, after 3 days, and after some time only leaves he is eating, then he gives up eating, then he is only surviving on water, then he gives up that also, then only breathing, and after some point he stops breathing also. So, and in that consciousness, in that state of mind, he then chants the Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya mantra. So he attains perfection easily, because he is now completely purified in the gross and the subtle and everything else. So though Dhruva Maharaj was capable of doing Ashtanga Yoga, being a small boy, he was a yogi, for us it is not possible. So for our purification, we are asked to do our sadhana, that is chanting of the Maha Mantra attentively, properly, so that our subtle consciousness, our subtle body is also purified. And for gross body, they say, eat only prasadam. Unless until gross and subtle are purified, one cannot progress in the path of bhakti. So this process is recommended to attain perfection. Even if one is doing Ashtanga Yoga, even if one is doing Nishkama Karma Yoga, element of bhakti has to be there to attain perfection. Even Matajis, whoever is going for Sayujya Mukti, a small amount of bhakti is there. Otherwise, there's no possibility of getting liberation. So they have, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Karma Mishra Bhakti, even people who desire moksha, they have a desire and they're doing activities to get that desire. So it's Mishra Bhakti. But bhakti is essential. In any yoga practice, to become perfect, an element of bhakti is essential. And of course, Ananya Bhakti is something completely different. By Ananya Bhakti, you get results which are much higher than what you get through other yogic practices. Where you get the mercy of the Lord, you associate with the Lord, you are in the service of the Lord. So here, Dhruva Maharaj, after getting whatever he saw the Lord face to face and he got the mercy, he also prayed for something, Mataji. What did he ask the Lord? Apart from the Dhruva Loka, he said, you will rule the Dhruva Loka, then you will come to me, you will come to the eternal spiritual Vaikuntha. He asked something from the Lord.
May I not wish anything other than this, Mataji? Swamin Kritartho Varam Nayachi.
I shouldn't fall into any material desires, or I should not fall into Maya. I should only be able to serve you. That is what the ultimate desire he developed, and that is the perfect desire. No material desire can give perfection. But this desire that I only want to serve you, I want to be in your association, rather, I want to serve you, not even association, I want to serve you, is the eternal desire. It is the eternal nature of the soul. It is the eternal duty of the soul. And if one can actually strengthen that desire within, that I only want to serve the Lord, I only want to serve the Lord, then gradually we will see the progress we make. That will actually change our consciousness. We will keep doing services to everybody in and around us, but our desire to serve the Lord should become intense and intense. So here we can stop, Mataji. If anybody has any doubt, they can ask. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Lovely, wonderful class. We have Shanti Ramachandra Mataji. You can ask your question. Then Vasudha Mataji and then Suma Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Shanti Priya Mataji, please ask your question. I think Shanti Mataji is unable to unmute, I think. Vasudha Mataji, in such time you ask, please.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Wonderful class, Mataji. Thank you very much. Mataji, just I wanted to get an note the difference between what is karma and anartha. And today's in the class in the sloka 19, you have mentioned that even though we do devotional service, even though we do continuous the process of chanting and all, anarthas cannot go. So just can you enlighten in that point, Mataji? Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji, first is karma and you are saying?
Anartha, Mataji. What is that difference?
Karma and anartha. Okay.
Because why I got that is, Mataji, if we do chanting, our sins will get destroyed. It will burn. So that there I got to know what is that anarthas will not go, you are telling. So I don't have that.
Okay. Mataji,
I'm not
that anarthas will not go. But what kind of chanting you have to do for your karmas or anarthas or sins to go away, Mataji?
Sorry, Mataji, I didn't clear.
Chanting has got 3 stages, no, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
So at what stage will your anarthas or your karmas go?
If we do our chanting fully focus on Lord without any expectation and pleasing the Lord, to please the Lord.
Okay. So Mataji, that stage is called offenseless chanting stage, Nama Bhas. Suma Mataji is mentioned. So Mataji, if you are chanting with offenses, then it will take longer time for you to purify your anarthas. And what are the offenses to chanting? The 10 offenses to chanting, we read the list before chanting. If you are doing any of these offenses, Mataji, your process of purification will take a longer time. No doubt the Nama will remove all the sins, or it can remove all the anarthas, but the way you are chanting, you have to come to the platform of offenseless chanting.
Okay.
So Mataji, in spite of knowing about chanting, if you maintain material attachments and material desires, that is an offense. So Mataji, we are stuck there itself. Are our material desires gone? Our material attachments gone?
No, Mataji.
So we are doing offensive chanting. So it will take time for us to get purified, our anarthas to go, our karmas to go, because we are still having material attachments, no, Mataji?
Oh, yes, Mataji. Yes, I can understand.
So once you do offenseless chanting in a minute, not only your anarthas going, not only your karmas going, you will come to the platform of liberation in Nama Bhasa stage itself, Mataji. In offenseless chanting itself, you will come to liberation, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Clear.
So that is why the quality of chanting is fine, Mataji. Attentive chanting is also fine, because inattentive chanting is also one of the 11th offense. But the thing is, apart from that, our material desires, our material attachments, our conscious. We know our conscious best, Mataji. Even the smallest of desire, like
Yes.
today I feel like eating paneer tikka masala. This is also a desire for sense gratification. We feel this is such a small thing. What is wrong in desiring to eat something? But this is also a desire, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji.
So this is very, very intricate, Mataji. So to come to that platform where all your anarthas are gone, all your karmas are washed away, your chanting has to come to a offenseless stage, Mataji. By taking the name of Krishna once, that's what is mentioned in Ajamil pastime, even Yamaraj's instruction to Yamadutas, even taking the name of Krishna once, all the sins, even which one cannot think of doing, will be washed away. But what kind of taking that name? Offenselessly. And in offenseless, it comes no desires, no attachments, proper consciousness, Mataji.
Super, Mataji. Thank you very much, Mataji. Very potential answer you gave, so that more concentrating on chanting is very, very important. More and more.
More detachment from matter is important, Mataji.
True, Mataji. That also I came to know. Thank you very much.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Tuma Mataji, please ask your question.
No, Mataji, for a moment I forgot my question, Mataji, because the answer that you gave for Vasudha Mataji's question was I was so absorbed, Mataji, it was so good. Mataji, yesterday in class we learned that whenever we face the injustice, we have to show our hood and we should not bite. So
Yes.
this is what has been told in yesterday.
Whenever injustice is done?
I mean, example with an analogy, Mataji explained. Like snake, we have to just show our hood, but we should not bite.
Okay.
That's what Mataji narrated.
Okay.
So it is like that we have to fight for our rights. I mean, whenever we are supposed to speak, we have to speak for our. So this is what Mataji said. So in today's class, Mataji, when you narrated the shloka, when you explained the shlokas, I felt that when Dhruva approached Suniti did not even fight back, Mataji. So she accepted everything as her own, karma.
Unfortunate circumstance or whatever it is.
So I just felt that today, like whatever comes to us, we have to accept it instead of even showing the hood also.
Yes.
Not right, Mataji, like completely surrendering to
Two things in this. First is our conscious level. First is, see, Suniti is right in what she did. She did not retaliate. She said, Dhruva Maharaj, go and do ultimate best. This is one way. And the yesterday's part, whatever the Mataji do is also right. Show your hood, show whatever your, resentment is or your unhappiness is, so that again, next time they don't do it. This is also right. But Mataji, it depends on your conscious, which one you want to choose. And Mataji, showing your hood or showing your anger or resentment, this is all from the material point of view, Mataji. See, you must have been hurt by somebody or somebody has done some injustice. So if materially, in that sense, if you feel that this is disturbing your consciousness, your mind and your intelligence is getting distracted, instead of getting troubled by this, you can express your anger and then leave it so that next time they don't come and disturb you. See, if you don't take the right action sometimes in this, particularly when we are dealing with human beings and other relations in our life, if we don't take right action, sometimes they become more. Why Krishna told Arjun also to fight this battle? Why did he say that you just run away? See, Suniti is right, whatever she did, but why did Krishna not give the same advice to Arjun? Why did he say that you have to stand and fight, you cannot leave? Krishna could have shown the dharma marg, go and do meditation and leave the material world and be happy in the spiritual world. But he says no. If it is part of your duty, and this is dharma, this is a battle for dharma, you have to fight. So if there is some injustice and there is a way you can stop that, or you can see that it doesn't further continue, then you have to act, Mataji. But it's only for the purpose of setting things right, not with the intention of taking a revenge or experiencing, your superiority or anything like that. It's only, and Mataji, that can be done very politely, very gracefully, just express, so that next time that thing doesn't happen to you. And if something has happened also, people will be careful so that you are also not disturbed, Mataji. And otherwise, if you feel that all this is not necessary, I will focus on the Lord, that is up to you. If your conscience is allowing you to do it and you are not troubled by the incident, then you can do this also, Mataji. You will progress much faster in your bhakti.
Hare Krishna. So very much thankful to you, Mataji. I'm so convinced and very happy, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Sometimes what happens is if we don't take the right action also, the people around us who are dependent or who are with us, they say, why are you tolerating all this? Supposing sometimes if, our children also, in my experience also, I never would give this kind of instruction which Suniti gave. If some children, when they were young, they came and complained to me, I've also gone and expressed some kind of a resentment with the other parents. That has happened. But Mataji, that all depends on our conscious level. And sometimes children also expect that my mother should speak up. My mother should say something. Why is she not supporting me? So in that scenario, Mataji, you have to act for the others also, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Yes, what I asked is in the pretext of my daughter only. So it was so helpful, Mataji. Thank you so much.
And you will offend. That child will not understand this philosophy. No, Mataji, let us pray to Vishnu. She's so hurt. She's so painful. Then you have to relieve her also, no, Mataji. Otherwise, she'll start developing a resentment towards you. My mother anyway will not do anything. And how the child's mind works, we don't know. But can you show her the path? Let us do chanting. Let us do bhakti. Will she follow that, Mataji?
No, Mataji, this is what I was actually facing the problem. So I got the solution.
You have to act, Mataji.
I have not reached to that stage of maturity, Mataji. So it is necessary that.
Yes. Because otherwise the child will feel offended, Mataji.
Thank you so
Mother
much.
will not do anything for me. That is also an effect on that child's consciousness, and that will trouble them also, Mataji.
True, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Pranams, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Shanti Mataji, are you there? You want to ask a question?
No, Mataji, that was raised for reading, Mataji.
Reading. Okay. Then I'll ask my question. Mataji, my question was, when you said that when you have a desire, you should go to the Lord and ask your desire. So either he fulfills or he shows you how to, I mean, you'll get the consciousness to know that how you will forget about the desire only. So in our real practical life also, whatever material desires also that they come, like if somebody hurts you or you want something from somebody, you should pray to Lord, because when we do bhakti, I always feel very guilty, even if little material, I don't want to ask for anything, because I think God is sitting within me. He knows what I want.
Yes.
So what is the right path? Should we ask the Lord that either fulfill this or take away the desire, or whichever?
Mataji, again, same thing. What you feel. See, we now, after getting so much of knowledge, we have this strong knowledge in us that we don't have to ask the Lord anything. He knows everything. He knows best. But suddenly, out of certain circumstantial things that happen, or we are sometimes overwhelmed by the gunas acting on us, and we suddenly start developing that, no, I have to ask the Lord that this should happen or this should get fulfilled. Mataji, if you are feeling so intensely, and if that knowledge is coming to you that no, we need not ask, and there is a battle going on between your mind that whether I should ask, whether I should not ask, you only decide. If you feel that, no, I feel like asking now, you say, Krishna, I know I should not ask, you know well, but I am overwhelmed with my feelings, so I want to ask. He will understand. It all depends, because Krishna knows us more than we know. He is within our heart. So if there is a dilemma, if you feel like asking, Mataji, you ask. And leave it to him, he will decide. But after asking, Mataji, there comes the problem. Don't have the expectation that Krishna has to fulfill it. Then you are safe. If you feel like, I have to go and ask Krishna, ask and leave it. Now you don't have to expect that Krishna has to fulfill. Then only the problem starts. And if you leave it at that, then you will become peaceful. Okay, I have asked Krishna, let Krishna take care. Then you will also become peaceful.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji. For me, it is more like instead of fulfilling, you give me the strength to not even desire that. That's my consciousness.
That's a very good prayer, Mataji. That's a very good prayer.
It's not that I want it to be fulfilled, but I rather, I have to give me that consciousness that I'll never desire anything is my prayers. Yeah.
Yes. So that's a right consciousness, Mataji. There's nothing wrong in it. In our process of elevating and purifying our consciousness, we will have so many dilemmas. But for everything, you have to just tell to Krishna, this is what is going on in my mind. This is what is happening. You only know best. You just bring me out. So after that situation or incident is over, you will see, you will get much more clarity with Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. Mataji, one more question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem.
How does one bring so much clarity, Mataji? I know, I mean, we are too, I can't even say how, because I've not been reading that much. Chanting is going on, Mataji, but whatever that we try, but how does one bring this much clarity, Mataji? Can you please guide us, Mataji?
Mataji, you have to closely analyze how your mind, how your conscious is actually at the present moment. And after applying the knowledge of the Shastra, what is the level we can attain? Now, Dhruv Maharaj case or even Suniti's instruction. So this is the ultimate. They have shown us the topmost path. So where we are and how we can go to attain that path. It is a very gradual process, Mataji, where gradually you will start developing that clarity because of your sadhana, your conscious, when it's as it is getting purified from within, inside, the Lord will keep giving you the guidance, Mataji. Or from the Shastra, you will keep getting the guidance. Then you will see that naturally certain things which your mind was not accepting some 10 years back, now it is accepting. So what is the difference now? What has happened now? Because gradually your conscious is getting purified and elevated. So for that, Mataji, you have to go through this process where you are doing your sadhana properly, you are reading the Shastra, and you have the goal. What is the conscious level I have to attain? The conscious level of pure devotees. Though it is very difficult, that is the level I have to attain. So for that, I have to work towards it. So when any situation arises, instead of reacting, that's how Suma Mataji said, isn't Suniti's thing right? You know, she guided the child in the right path, go do bhakti. But how much can we implement in our lives? So you have to keep judging each situation, apply the Shastric knowledge, see at what level your conscious is. Mataji, we should never pretend to be at a much higher level if we are not at it. And that will keep hurting us, Mataji. So at some point, it will be like a bubble that will burst. So whatever conscious you're having, be very, very truthful to your feelings, accept them as they are, and then move forward to what is your goal, Mataji. So don't have to imitate anybody. I will be like Suniti from today. I will guide my child. It will not happen because the soul is not Dhruv Maharaj. They are different souls on different journey. Our children may not be Dhruv Maharajas. They are not Dhruv Maharajas. So you cannot give the same instruction and tell them, go pray to the Lord. They will fight with us, Mataji. Dhruv Maharaj walked away from the house, but our children will not walk away. They will fight with us. So we cannot fit the same scenario in our day-to-day life. So we have to adjust to that, Mataji. So we are at a certain level. We have to move to the purest level, and that will happen gradually, Mataji.
Hari bol, yes, Mataji. Suma Mataji has a question. Suma Mataji, allow me a little half a minute.
Yeah.
Mataji, when we are reading the Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita is still now, since we have been doing over and over again, is little more, this one we are reading for the first time. I mean, if I would have read these verses, my understanding would be plain and simple as to what is written. And whenever we have these exalted speakers like you, Mataji, they bring out so much essence out of it. That stage we've not reached, Mataji. I know, I mean, reading
it takes time, Mataji, with gradual practice and continuous association of senior devotees. We keep listening to Acharya's lectures, read the books of Acharyas, Mataji. They give in-depth analysis of how the conscious keeps transforming. And then you will understand where you are, where you have to go. Continuously, you have to keep monitoring that.
Mataji, any book you could recommend from Acharyas, Mataji?
Mataji, there are deep books written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but then you also need somebody to guide you in that. They are at a very deeper level, Mataji. So initially you go with Bhagavatam, read Chaitanya Charitamrita, then you will come to know about it, Mataji. You have Sandarbhas, Tattva Sandarbha, Jaiva Dharma, written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. They have given deep analysis of what is Nitya Dharma, Naimittika Dharma, the conscious levels, how the Jiva gets that. There's a lot of technical analysis in that, Mataji. You can read those books. It's Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Jaiva Dharma, translated by Bhanu Maharaj, Mataji.
Sure, Mataji. Jaiva Dharma by Bhanu Prasad.
Bhanu Maharaj, Bhanu Swami Maharaj, Bhaktivinoda Thakur book, Mataji. They will discuss in detail what is the duty of the soul and why the soul is stuck here doing all these other duties. So by that you will understand what is the conscious level we have to attain and what conscious we are in actually.
Mataji got disconnected?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, please write the name.
Mataji has come.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji join.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Mataji.
Yeah. Mataji, it is Jaiva Dharma, Jaiva, Jaiva Dharma by Bhanu Maharaj, Bhakti Vinod Thakur book.
Jaiva, yes.
Jaiva Dharma.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. These, lectures in the morning, Mataji, keeps us going in our bhakti. Hare Krishna. Mataji, we can't hear you.
Bhakti Vinod Thakur, but translated by Bhanuswami Maharaj.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thanks a lot,
Please come more
Mataji.
often, Mataji. Lot of doubts keep creeping up in our heads in spite of listening to this over and over again. We still keep asking you the same questions.
No problem, Mataji, because see, our conscious is like this because of so many millions of births we have acquired the samskaras. So for it to transform, it takes time. Of course, it can change in a minute. Prabhupada says you'll become Krishna conscious in a minute, but you have to completely surrender and chant. Yeah, I think we can stop, Mataji. I think you'll have some other class or anything. Yes.
Yes, Mataji, 11 o'clock.
Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnavavrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you for the
Mataji.
wonderful
Hare
session,
Krishna.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Really.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Pranam, Mataji.
The session, Mataji.
Yeah, we can.